Alrighty, folks, welcome to my college football week 5 video for the 2023 season. And if you want to see which one of these free plays I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for my college football membership on my premium page. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive right into some free content. We're going to start off with Texas A&M, Arkansas, 12 o'clock Eastern kickoff at Jerry World. The Aggies are -6, totals 54. Sorry, I'm a little nasally. Had a couple cigars last night. And they did a number on me. Ave Maria Immaculata. That was the name of the cigar. Had 2 of them, the same one. Anyway, Aggies, -6, totals 54. Early line movement toward the under. Half a point fade of A&M. Texas A&M opened 6.5 down to 6. Total opened 55.5 down to 54. Now, I am liking this A&M defense here. They're doing a nice job defending the pass, actually holding their opponents to just 13 completions per game. Jaheim Thomas, he has a team-high 43 tackles and 3 sacks, doing a great job with that pass rush, very disruptive. When it comes to stopping the run, the Aggies are facing an Arkansas team who does struggle on the ground. They're 97th in the country in yards per rush. Meanwhile, offensively on the other side for A&M, I think they'll have some good success throwing the football as well. They're a top 20 passing team in the nation. KJ Jefferson, that name should ring a bell. I feel like he's been playing for college football for a long time. Jefferson's completing over 70% of his throws. And his top 2 receivers have over 500 yards combined already. Now they're facing an Arkansas secondary who's been lackluster at best. These guys are giving up over 13 yards per completion. They're having a tough time over the top a little bit. And they did lose their last 2 straight and gave up 72 total points in those defeats. Raheem Sanders is questionable for the Razorbacks. Noah Thomas questionable for the Aggies. When it comes to the total, A&M saw overs against the likes of Miami and New Mexico. Meanwhile, Arkansas saw their last 2 outings get over the number themselves. 3-1 to the over for the entire season. Give me Texas A&M -6 over 54. Next ball game, Penn State, Northwestern, 12 o'clock Eastern kickoff. The Nittany Lions are -27, totals 46. Now, the Lions are unbeaten this season, and most importantly for bettors, they've covered in each and every one of those victories. Now, the two-headed monster of Singleton and Allen, they've put these guys in the top 20 in rush yards per game. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, it's all about the defense. This Penn State defense is arguably the best in the country. They're the heartbeat of the program. The Lions currently allow fewer yards per game than any other defense in college football. Now, at the moment, the Nittany Lions are allowing just 8 points a game. And, of course, they're facing a Northwestern team who's been little threat running the football. These guys run for just 98 yards a game. It actually puts them in the bottom 15 in the nation in that category. Meanwhile, defensively, the Wildcats have had a tough time slowing down the run as well. I would say Penn State should tote it for about 250 yards in this one. Now, weather-wise, looks like it's probably going to be a lovely afternoon here. Sunny and 74, slight breeze at kickoff. Now, injury-wise, Petrucci, Van Buren, Nero, Lang, and Bacon are all questionable for Northwestern. All those guys are pass catchers, by the way. Meanwhile, for Penn State, Mallard, Miga, Johnson, Green, Harvey, and Kensey are questionable for them. Looks like Chop Robinson's banged up a little bit. Keep an eye on him. Now, total-wise, I think Penn State's really going to try to run this one up. They're averaging over 40 points a game. They do a real nice job protecting quarterback Drew Aller. By the way, Aller's only been sacked 2 times this year. Hasn't thrown a pick yet. They're doing a very efficient job on offense, especially revolving around Aller. He's very comfortable in the pocket behind this talented O-line. Now, Penn State did see overs this year against West Virginia and Delaware. Meanwhile, Northwestern saw their last 3 straight get over the total. Give me Penn State -27 over 46. All right, next ball game. USC, Colorado, 12 o'clock Eastern start time. And of course, USC is the 21-point favorite away from home, total 73.5. And, well, hey, Colorado was definitely exposed last week against Oregon. I drank the Colorado Kool-Aid. And, believe it or not, in that just absolute blowout last week, the Ducks pretty much called off the Dogs in the second half. So, they could have really put up a lot of points on them. But that game was never competitive. Right from the get-go, it was not competitive. It was pure domination, two completely different, they were in a different class. And I think we're going to see more of the same here today. The USC Trojans have scored 42 points or more in all 4 of their victories this season. Of course, quarterback Caleb Williams, he's full throttle again. 1,200 yards on the season already, 15 touchdowns, no interceptions. Of course, and obviously he's going to want to show up Shedeur Sanders. That's without a doubt. Now, defensively, not many people are going to talk about this Trojan D. They're going to focus on the offense, but these guys, the defense, they've had a solid pass rush this year, and they are very disciplined. They're in the top 10 in fewest penalties committed on D. Solomon Byrd, 4.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. Keep an eye on him. And of course, they're facing a one-dimensional Buffalo's offense who's dead last in rush yards per game. All they do is throw it, no committing to running the football. They're averaging only 1.9 yards per carry when they do rush it. Once again, 0 commitment to running the football, 100% commitment to getting the quarterback killed. And speaking of killed, this Colorado defense continues to get torched. These guys are in the bottom 5 in yards allowed per game. And no real shock, the Buffs are also in the bottom 5 in completions allowed. Weather shouldn't be a factor in Boulder on Saturday. Should be a nice day. Today. Should be a nice day. Injury-wise, Travis Hunter's still out. Slusher, Weaver, and Shiloh Sanders are questionable. The Trojans on the other side, mostly healthy. Raleek Brown is a little banged up. Keep an eye on him. But overall, USC very healthy at the moment. Now, total-wise, the Trojans could put this one over themselves. They could score over 73 points by their lonesome. 3 out of their last 4 did get over the total. Meanwhile, Colorado saw overs against Colorado State and TCU. Give me USC minus 21, over 73.5. All right, next game, Clemson, Syracuse, 12 o'clock East. Clemson's minus 7, totals 53. And if you want to see whether I'm making a play on the money line total or against the spread in this one, this game's being featured as one of my college football tier package picks for week 5. And just a friendly reminder, guys, if you sign up for that package here today, you're going to get access to 3 college football premium selections every single week for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships every single day for the next 30 days, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. Patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, next ball game, little SEC action. Florida, Kentucky, 12 o'clock Eastern start time. Kentucky's minus 1.5, totals 44. And considerable movement on both the side and the total in this one. 1.5 point move toward Florida, 2 point move toward the under. Once again, Kentucky opened 3, down to 1.5. Total opened 46, down to 44. And I understand if, Florida seems like a pretty sexy pick here, but we've got to consider the quality of opponents they've faced over the past couple of weeks. And I know they're not in charge of the schedule, but you got to look at it this way. They faced the likes of Charlotte and McNeese State in the month of September. And, as small as this number is, you got to consider the fact that the Gators successfully covered the point spread in just 1 game this year. Like I said, I know it's a tiny number, but not a great covering team right now. And to be honest, it's actually their defense I'm concerned about in this one. These guys have shown little pass rush, minimal takeaways in the secondary. They're also 92nd in defensive penalties. A little bit undisciplined on that side of the ball. Now, offensively, the Gators have put the ball on the turf several times, and Graham Mertz, he's been sacked 9 times. He's only thrown 4 touchdown passes thus far, so not outstanding performance, with regard to quarterback play. And of course, Mertz is facing a tough Kentucky defense who's allowing only 15 points a game. Traven Wallace has 25 tackles and 3.5 sacks. Max Hairston leads the secondary in picks. When it comes to stopping the run, there's not many teams out there who are better right now. The Wildcats have a top 10 rush defense. It's actually just 2.6 yards per rush they're allowing on the ground. So, wow, impressive. Injury-wise, Wilcox, Wright, and Caddis are questionable for Kentucky. Horsey's still out. Meanwhile, for Florida, Aguakin, Zipper, Miller, Bowman, Burke, Wilson, and Mazuka are questionable. Looks like Weston and Livingston are doubtful. Now, weather-wise, sunny and warm in Lexington. Slightest of breeze by game time. Should be a nice day. Really a nice day everywhere across the country for most cities. Anyway, total-wise, the Wildcats saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under. The Gators are 4-0 to the under for the entire season. Should be a tight physical game. Lots of hard hitting. Give me Kentucky -1.5, under 44. Next breakdown, Michigan, Nebraska, 3:30 p.m. East. Michigan's the 18-point favorite on the road. Total's 39. And as easy as this pick may seem, it's the Wolverines who've yet to cover a point spread. They failed to cover the number against the likes of Rutgers, Bowling Green, UNLV, and East Carolina. And even though it's pretty tough to nitpick these guys, they have been a bit lax with their pass rush. This Michigan D hasn't even reached double-digit sacks yet, and they have played, what was it, 4 games? So, yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to have to prepare for the run because Nebraska does tote it on the ground quite a bit. That's pretty much all they can do. These guys are nearly a top 5 rushing team in the nation. And defensively, well, the Cornhuskers are pretty tough to run against themselves. They're allowing just 1.8 yards per rush. Now, they're also giving up fewer rush yards per game than any other team in college football besides one. Isaac Gifford and John Bullock have 45 tackles between the both of them. Now, weather-wise, should be a hot one in Lincoln. Looking at, 90 degrees, 92 degrees. Is going to be a little bit windy, too. So, consider that with regard to special teams. Now, injury-wise, both quarterbacks for Nebraska are banged up here. Like I said, I'm not saying the Huskers are going to beat Michigan. I'm more tailing this Nebraska defense. But anyway, both Sims and Harburg are both questionable for Nebraska. Walker, Roller, Forbes, Dunlap, Hall, Berry, McBurrows, and Stokes are all questionable for the Wolverines. Total-wise, Michigan saw all of their games this season fall under the number. Nebraska went 3-1 to the under in their last 4. I think the Huskers can cover here. Give me Nebraska +18, under 39. All right, next ball game, Kansas, Texas, 3:30 p.m. East. The Texas Longhorns are -16.5. Total is 61. And we did see a half-a-point fade of Texas, 1-point move toward the under. The Longhorns opened 17 down to 16.5. Total opened 62 down to 61. And to be honest with you, I'm really not sure how much better the Longhorns are than Kansas. Texas is good, but they're completing only 19 passes per game. And they've also put the ball on the turf a handful of times. They're facing a tough Kansas defense who defends the run and pass quite well. This Jayhawk secondary has 6 interceptions on the year already. Pass rush has 11 sacks. When it comes to defending the run, Kansas has a top 25 rush defense. Kenny Logan's the team leader in tackles. Booker and Robinson have 7 sacks between the both of them. When it comes to offensive production, Kansas is very efficient both through the air and on the ground. The Jayhawks complete 76% of their passes. They're a top 15 rushing team on the ground. When it comes to the injury list, the Jayhawks are pretty healthy at the moment. No significant injuries right now. Weather-wise, sunny and hot in Austin, Texas. No real shock there. When it comes to the total, the Longhorns' last 2 straight did fall under the total. 3-1 to the under in their last 4. The Jayhawks saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the total themselves. Give me Kansas +16.5, under 61. Next and final breakdown for the video, Georgia-Auburn, 3:30 p.m. East. Georgia's minus 14, totals 45.5. And I actually do like this number. Pretty appreciative that it moved down. Georgia opened 16.5, down to 14 for some reason. Total open 47, down to 45.5. And I'll tell you what, typically I would hate laying 2 scores in a conference game on the road. Not always a great idea. Actually, it's never a good idea to do that. But I'll actually gladly do it here. Auburn's been beating up on teams like UMass, Cal, and Samford. Not Stanford, Samford with an M. And the second they faced a worthy opponent in Texas A&M, they were stifled to just 10 total points. This one-dimensional Tiger offense, they are committed solely to running the football because when it comes to passing, they're 113th in yards per game in the air. Give me the Georgia Bulldogs minus 14 over 45.5. And with that, folks, now it is time for our quick pick recap. Give me Utah State minus 4 under 51. USC minus 21 over 73.5. I have no free pick for you in the Clemson-Syracuse game. And if you want to see which one of these free plays on this video that I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for my college football package. The link is in my bio. James Madison minus 2 over 48.5. Tulane minus 21 over 58. Kentucky minus 1.5 under 44. Penn State minus 27 over 46. Texas A&M minus 6 over 54. Louisiana Raging Cajuns plus 10.5 under 49. Akron minus 3 under 55.5. Eastern Michigan plus 10 under 46 and a hook. Boston College minus 4 under 53. Kent State plus 15 under 51. Arizona State plus 13 under 48. Arkansas State plus 3 over 56. Wagner plus 45 under 50. Nebraska plus 18 under 39. Georgia minus 14 over 45.5. Houston plus 9 under 52.5. Marshall minus 14 under 48. Toledo minus 13 over 47.5. Georgia Tech minus 21 over 49. Kansas plus 16.5 under 61. Western Michigan minus 1 under 51. USF, South Florida, plus 3 over 54. I have no free pick for you in the Baylor-UCF game. Maryland, minus 14, under 50. Illinois, plus 1, under 54. Missouri, minus 13.5, over 54.5. New Mexico, plus 14, under 41. UNLV, minus 10, under 59. Memphis, minus 3, over 58. Ole Miss, plus 3, over 67. Oregon Ducks minus 27 over 60. Georgia Southern minus 6 over 65.5. East Carolina plus 4 under 46. Give me Colorado State getting the job done for some money line cash. Georgia State minus 1 over 50. Oklahoma Sooners minus 20 over 48. Southern Miss plus 6 under 61. North Texas minus 16 over 69. Duke plus 6 under 52.5. SMU minus 22 over 54. Iowa Hawkeyes minus 10 under 37. Tennessee Vols minus 11 over 60. West Virginia plus 14 over 52. San Diego State plus 11 under 43. Virginia Tech plus 3 under 41. Appalachian State plus 13 under 51.5. Mississippi State plus 15 under 47. Arizona Wildcats plus 20 over 66. With my next and final free pick, give me Fresno State minus 24 under 51.